You're giving them the business.
Welcome to the Five Arms and the Lucky Finn podcast. I'm your host, Brendan McCormick. We are missing our Lucky Finn, but I have Kenny Hilliard in the building on the right side. Usually our graphics guy, but you know what? He steps out into the studio every now and then, and I'm honored that he came out. But first and foremost, Kenny, we have a very special guest.
Yeah, we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't your average podcast episode. This one's straight from the locker room to the people, coming out of a Meet Louisiana 6'4" cannon for an arm, LSU commit turned Tulane QB legend. He's been the guy under the lights, and now he's the guy behind the grind, coaching, mentoring, building the next generation from the ground up. Not just players, but leaders. He's the voice every young athlete needs to hear, the example every coach wants to follow. Give it up for the one, the only Lester Ricard Jr.
Yes, sir.
Wow, man, that was awesome, man. Jeez, I feel better about myself after hearing that, man. Like,
I made sure I as soon as we came over here, I said it's a meet. Make sure
Please.
it's a meet.
was he saying Amity? You know,
No,
like
I was
most
just
people.
making sure.
We have a lot of pride, man, when people say that. I remember we was in high school, we were going on the road and people wouldn't say it right. And sure enough, my coach would give us one of them pregame speeches like, if y'all walk out of here with a loss tonight and those people just called out time Amity or and whatever he would say, he was like, y'all all walking back. I'll catch the bus by myself. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
I won't lie, Lester. I did have to look it up on YouTube to see how it's pronounced. And also your name. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
thank you. That's the other part too.
Had to do a little research. But man, we're pumped to have you. Ready to dive into some player development, ask you some recruiting questions of when it was back your time before NIL and questions like that. So I'm excited to dive in, get to know you a little bit, and the listeners get to know you a little bit as well. So let's dive into it, man. Can you paint the picture of what recruiting was like back then, before social media, before NIL deals, before highlight reels went viral overnight? How did you get noticed, and what do you think today's young athletes gain or lose from all the exposure that comes with modern recruiting?
Well, obviously, when I came out, I graduated from Maine Meet in 2002. So, obviously, my senior year was basically the 2001 season. My recruiting process really started with my parents at an early age started taking me to football camps. My very first football camp was an LSU football camp with Jared Donardo. Was going into my sophomore year, and obviously my daddy had the foresight that my kid might actually have a decent chance of playing college football one day. And so he took me to a 4-day camp at LSU. I spent the night there. And then that's when I saw the Brock Berlins, a guy that played at Evangel High School that was number one quarterback in the country. And then obviously playing at A-Meet, we had so many outstanding players that came through there. So I remember being a freshman on that campus and guys like Carlos Burns, CJ Baptiste, who were being national recruited, to see those guys have those type of coaches to come and recruit them was all inspiring. And so back then, obviously, it's kind of word of mouth, right? If you had a friend that coached at an Ole Miss, that coach would say, "Hey, there's a quarterback back at A-Meet who can throw the football about a country mile." And then, hey, they come by and start sending you letters. Then they have you at football camp. And from football camp, that's kind of when the recruiting process started. Being especially from a small town, even though we were very successful on the field, still you had to kind of get out of that bubble if you want to be seen. And so it was really about my parents. My parents, my mother and father, made the investment to send me to football camps, go to the Manning camp, go to LSU. Had a chance to go to the Bowden Passing Academy going into my junior year, where you had Terry, Tommy, and Bobby all a part of it. And that's when Clemson offered me, which was pretty cool, man. And so from there, my recruiting process just skyrocketed. And then becoming a full-time starter my junior year, it's a lot of humility, right? Which is so different from today. Now it's about, like you said, clickbaits. It's about highlight films. And I had a highlight tape, but nobody really cared about that because they really want to see you in camp and they will come and see you at your school. And so Saban, Jimbo, You know, they would come to the school.
Wow.
We had shoots, everybody from Tommy Tuberville to Bobby Bowden to Terry Bowden, from the coaching staff at Mississippi State, you name it, they were all being a part of my recruiting process. So see Curtis Johnson, who coached at the New Orleans Saints and coached at Tulane. He was coach at University of Miami. He was recruited, man. You name it, they were coming through. And so it was a process. It was fun. I enjoyed it. You know, you got in the car, you went on your visits.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was one of those kids that I wasn't going anywhere without my mother and father. And then back then, my younger sister. And so they were all part of it, which is different today, like you said. Now it's about,
Yeah.
you have these summer official visits. You have these later official visits. You have everything is kind of at your disposal of your hand. And so, you know, I really have an appreciation from the old process, because it was really a grind. You know, I was in camp with Vince Young. I was in camp with Tyler Palco and all the guys like that. Drew Olson, guys who were national ranked. Reggie McNeil, who wound up being a great quarterback at Texas A&M. And so you saw yourself, and you had to. You know, now these
Yeah.
kids that go to a football camp and they don't even have to participate. They won't even go through the drills. They won't run the 40s
No.
because they already have these offers. So they get there and they wearing their slides.
Oh,
I'm such a competitive person that
Yeah.
I wanted to see those guys in camp. I wanted to show them I'm
Mhm.
Lester Ricard, the little country boy from A Meet. You can't compete with me. And so, which is a lot different today, man. I think that's why you
Yeah.
see the college game not as guys run from competition now more so than run to it. And
Mhm.
that's kind of not what I'm, was about. And so, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it.
I
Yeah, I want to pick at the recruiting thing. What we talked about all the time is, do you think do recruiters come out anymore like they used to? Do you think that's affected? Because quarterbacks now, it
Yeah.
seems like it's really hard to judge a quarterback now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like guys like, let's say, Spencer Rattler. Those
Yeah.
guys coming up out of high school were 5. All those
Yeah.
guys, and even that QB1 show, like
Yeah.
most of
Yeah.
those quarterbacks, I don't think they're even in the
Yeah.
NFL, or they were transferring
That's
multiple
true.
times. Do you think that like the way you were recruited and the way they're recruiting now has something to do with that, or?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. And now that you bring it up, Kenneth, and I think about it, that's why you have so many guys that miss at the next level, because college coaches are not going out there doing their homework quite as much, right?
It can
You
be.
have,
It can.
you've got so many like recruiting analysts that work in the building now that the college coaches
Yeah.
are not having to go out there and spend time. And I'm gonna tell you something, since COVID, it's even magnified times 10, right? Because
Yeah.
before COVID, you didn't have all of these recruiting analysts, director of player personnel, this guy,
Mhm.
like there's a director of player something at, it's a million of them on these campuses. Whether you're LSU, Alabama, USC, they have so many these different guys. And yet when they get them on campus, we've got enamored with the 5 stars. A lot of these guys are not truly 5 stars.
Mm-mm.
They're getting these rankings because, for instance, you can make a call to one of these rivals on 3 ESPN recruiters. And what they'll do is, if you're a friend of them, they'll rank one of your kids high. They will. I'm telling you, I've had favors done for me in that
Mhm.
world where I'll call a guy and say, hey, listen, I got a guy 6'4", 240, and they don't know if he can walk and chew gum at the same time. But because he's a friend of mine, he's going to get 4 or 5 stars, right? And then he's going to get on somebody's college campus, and they be like, this kid is so underdeveloped, right? Who
Mhm.
recruited him? And that's the question. That's why a lot of these, you look at what just happened this weekend, you talk about 4 head major coaches, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, even. I said 4.
Yeah.
Start thinking about LSU. These guys are losing their jobs because they're depending on people in the building to tell them who to offer, instead of going out there, seeing these kids in person, and then having them participate in camp. Even the camps now, guys. You talk about going to LSU camp, those camps are only one day. When I
Those
was in
camps
high
are so
school,
dumb. They look so
like
dumb.
it's like they're in and out. Like Lester
Yeah.
Ricard will go throw 3 or 4 balls, and then he's done working at the camp that day.
Mm-mm.
Man, when I came out, I was there Sunday night, and we had workouts. Monday morning, Monday afternoon, we played Tiger Ball. That's on a Monday. Tuesday, same schedule. We had a morning workout. We had an afternoon workout. We ate, and then we came back and did Tiger Ball. We finished up with a Wednesday workout. If you have a great Monday
Jesus.
and your Tuesday is bad, you might not get offered, right? Those coaches invested that time in watching how you perform throughout the duration of that camp. And these guys are not getting that. They're giving a snapshot of what these guys' talents are looking like. And because of now the money is where it is now, man, it's really hard. And so these college coaches are being fired and because they have bad evaluators, and the process is not what it used to be.
It's probably even harder with NIL money.
Oh my gosh.
You got to worry about NIL money now, and just it's.
Don't get me started
It
about
might be too much like a business, but
it is, right?
Yeah.
So I would
It's
say
like a
this.
business.
I do consulting for Red Envelope Sports. All right. So Red Envelope Sports, if you look him up, it's the agency that Don Yee started. Don Yee is Tom Brady's agent, right?
Yeah.
And he's been Tom Brady's agent through all these years. And so Don's son, nephew bought the company, and they've got all these guys, Jimmy Garoppolo. Like the company that I do the consulting with, they have the #2 offensive tackle in the country for the 2027 class, right? He's only a junior this year. But they are starting to recruit these guys at such an early age now that they're making promises to these kids NIL money wise. And so these kids now are going to college already with money lined up for them, and they're Hollywood, right? There's a local kid that's committed to LSU, and I'm not going to say his name. He's being recruited as one of the top offensive linemen in the country. He's playing tight end his senior year. Like, you were 6'6", 320 pounds. Put your hands in the dirt, son, and come off the football. But it's gotten cute. And because he's been promised NIL money, his parents have told the coach, I don't want to deal with the trenches of football. So just put me at tight end, give me some cute stuff. And it's just, you're building a bad culture, man. You really are.
Damn.
I just can't erase what you said about On3, man. I'm trying to act like you didn't say it about them paying someone and rank, man.
Yeah.
Not that I based
But I mean, like we talked, it's all up. The click. You earn more money getting the clicks. It doesn't matter. What you do. It's different now. I mean, the clicks,
and I'm not gonna schools like Catholic High here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They have legit talent, right?
Yes,
St. John Bosco, California, Modern Day, American Heritage.
100%.
These schools have talent, but the rankings are so like if JT Curtis at John Curtis High School calls Chad Simmons, right, for On3, say you got a defensive tackle, it's one of the best in the country, in the morning, without seeing it one down the film, they're gonna boost him straight up to top 20 in America, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. These colleges are recruiting those numbers, not recruiting the kids, they're recruiting those numbers. And so, you actually could be hurting yourself more than helping yourself, because now your fan base is looking at, well, you just recruited #2, #3, #1 class in the country. Why are we not producing in 2 years? And so you look, LSU fan fell into that as well. I mean, Brian Kelly had a lot of things going on with him, but one of the things he's supposed to have had all these top flight recruits the last few years, and transfer portal. It's crazy. They rank the transfer portal now. They do. Like, who's got the #1 class of transfer portal? LSU is quote unquote supposed to have the #1 transfer portal class, and hadn't quite materialized for those guys yet.
I don't know. I don't know how you even tell talent from one level. Like Trinidad, he's from Ferris. That's a good school. It's a D2 school winning championships. But Lester, we want to talk about your journey, and we'll start with your recruitment. Your recruitment thing. How do you end up at LSU, and talk us through your career at LSU?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was, like I said, it started with Jerry DiNardo, going to football camp, and he's sitting down with my father and telling him, he's a guy that we're going to offer. And obviously, he was fired after my sophomore year, but Nick Saban comes in, and you do that whole process all over again, and have to kind of re-earn your stripes. But it all worked out, right?
Yeah.
I think Saban is the greatest recruiter. I mean, obviously, we know the football coaching side, but he's the greatest recruiter in the history of football, right? I'll never forget. I always tell this story when my mother and father went and sat in Nick Saban's office. My dad's sitting there, my father's phenomenal, like the best dad you can possibly, like if you scripted who a great father is, like he's the encyclopedia definition of what a great father is. But Saban sat there and he talked to my mother straight in the face. He ain't looking at my dad. He might have looked and peeked at him, out the corner of his eye, but he looked right at mom. And when we walked out of the room, mom was like, "Yeah, you going to LSU?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am. It is what it is, right?" And so from there, you go through your senior year. My freshman year was. I'll say this: when I was coaching at Scotlandville and Walker and so many other places I've been, I've always encouraged my players to always be ready, so you ain't got to get ready, right? And I'll never forget my freshman year. Matt Mock won the national championship at LSU. 2003 was our starting quarterback. We were playing against University of Florida at Florida. Rex Grossman gets benched. They put in Ingle Martin at quarterback, and sure enough, the fans started chanting for Ingle Martin. But anyway, Matt Mark during that game on a 3rd down and 5 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go breaks his foot on a quarterback draw on the goal line. We're up 36-12, something like that. And entered Marcus Randall, right? Great friend of mine, great guy. Marcus beats South Carolina his first game, and then kind of dealt with his own struggles as a quarterback. You know how it is when you first time playing. But anyway, at that point, late in the season, Coach Saban and Jimbo came to me about, possibly losing my red shirt and being ready to play. And I told those guys I wasn't ready. I just was honest with them. So, like, I'm not ready. They're like, well, you do a great job in practice. You do a heck of a job with scout team. And I always tell the story. It's like, how are you not ready? And I was like, Coach, I don't really pay attention. I'm redshirting, right? I'm a quarterback, so you're redshirting. So you kind of sit in the meetings and you're watching, but you're not paying attention. That's two different things, right? You can be watching the plays, but paying attention is a whole nother process, right? And I wasn't paying attention to what it was that we were installing week to week. I was just kind of happy with my development as my body because I went to college, guys. I was 190 pounds soaking wet. And
I saw that. I won't lie.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
And so I needed, my biggest thing was my freshman is like, how can I get up to about 205, 210 going into my redshirt freshman year, put myself in a position to compete for the starting job, then kind of tackle this thing in the spring, go all gas, no brakes. Well, when injuries happen as a quarterback, someone's not playing as well, you've got to be ready. And I just wasn't ready. And I told them I wasn't ready. And it really kind of put me in Saban's doghouse that point in the season, right? And though we wasn't playing for nothing but a bowl game, still in all, I missed an opportunity to go out there and perform. But I did it to myself, right? And I've always talked to my players about being mature about the process, right? Once you get to college, because you have that mindset when you redshirt. I'm gonna tell you something. You put yourself on autopilot. You're basically going through the motions.
I bet.
And you're not really, you're going to get the practice. I would tell you, like, they give you a card as a quarterback, and you read the card, and here's the play. Run this play versus. I was running scout team quarterback every day. I was doing phenomenal against the first team defense, but that actually handicapped me because I never really studied what we were doing, right? I was only concerned about, just being internally just the best version of me, but not understanding there was a bigger picture at stake. And so what I've always tried to do to my guys that go play college football is, listen, this is how you dump yourself in the process, whether you're redshirt or not. The preparation is bigger than everything else. And so Nick talks about this process. Part of the process is preparation, is eating right, is living right, is working out, is attention to detail in the classroom as well as on the football field. And a lot of those things because of, just coming from a little small town, playing football at Amy, the things they were asking me to do, I have never done them before. So I just kind of, like I said, put myself on autopilot and kind of got myself in a doghouse with Nick. But I would tell you what's funny is, years later, he's he's doing he's getting ready for the draft, right? So I get ready to go train at Worldwide Sports. I'm gonna get to Tulane because I'm skipping the whole process. I'm
Oh,
getting ready
good.
for the I'm getting ready for the draft at Worldwide Sports, and he's still with the Miami Dolphins, and he sees me, and he says, why'd you transfer? I just said, Coach, I could
Wow.
Oh,
never.
damn.
He's like, I could never. I said I was never gonna be able to get out the doghouse. He said, says who? He said that was a level of maturity that you needed. All right, and and I was going to take you through that process. You were talented enough to be the guy. You still needed to learn what it was to be a collegiate quarterback in the SEC.
Yeah.
And he was right about that. He was completely right. Some years later, I'll tell you, Burton Burns, who's his running back coach at LSU, at Alabama, and Scott Cochran. Scott Cochran, great friend of mine to this day. He said, "Look, Les, you ought to come up here and be a GA. Nick would love to bring you on as a GA because one, you know the Nick Saban way. Number two, you can help some of these young guys when we get them. Talk to them about the do's and don'ts and what they need to prepare for." And I thought about it, and remember them GAs when I was at LSU, working, getting up at 5 a.m., getting to the facility at 5 a.m., and leaving at midnight. And then
Yeah.
get cursed out the whole day, and I was like, I think I'm going to pass. I appreciate it. That may be my one regret of my life. I have no regrets. God has blessed me like exponentially. I cannot fathom how anybody can be more blessed than me. But I should have taken that opportunity that Burton Burns, Scott Cochran has set up. Because I think and look, I'm in a great place, great family, all of the above.
Yeah.
But it just sometimes you can look like that's the whole process about recruiting. Recruiting is so jacked up because you're only looking at the now, right? All these coaches are telling you you're going to play tomorrow. Man, your mindset needs to be what does your career look like 4 or 5 years from now? What are you setting yourself up down the line? I can only see when he offered me a GA position, I was only looking at $12,000 a year, room and board, and like, man, how am I going to survive off of that? I can't.
Yeah.
Kenneth, I got J's for days in my house, bro. You know what I mean? Brandon, I got, I was at the mall today and I was trying to figure out when them 11s coming out, those rare airs. So I'm gonna have to order them off StockX. I couldn't order nothing off StockX, making the money that Nick was offering. No, man, I would have been calling my mom and dad. Can you go and get that line for me? So it was. But I'm so grateful for that 1 year being there. I learned so much about how to work, what it takes to be successful. Man, Nick Saban is the most intimidating 5'6" person I've ever met in my entire life, right?
5'6"?
I mean, I'm 6'5". That's what he looks like next to me. Maybe 5'8". He might be 5'8". Kenny, he might be 5'8".
Give him a little bit higher.
No, he's not that tall.
Really?
No, he's not, dude.
No.
He might be 5. He might be 5'6". I'm not cutting Nick short now. And so, but he has this aura about him that is like no other coach. I played for Jack Del Rio, John Fox, and they can't hold this. What they say, his pants, right? They can't hold him, man. It's just his preparation, his attention to detail. I'm gonna tell you, the kick six happened against Auburn 3 years ago, right? When they kicked the field goal late, and it didn't cover, and Auburn plays in a national championship that year, right? I remember sitting there with my dad and saying to myself, I am shocked that they didn't cover. Nick used to go over everything. If your fingernail broke, how to put it back on, right? Like he was that meticulous.
Wow.
On a Friday, our walkthroughs would be an hour and a half because there was no scenario in the game that we were not going to be prepared for. We wasn't going to talk about us. Dude, we would just sit there and he would like, well, guys, it's 3rd and 5, balls on the left hash. We have no timeouts. What do we need to do? What's the play we need to run? Okay, if they're covering the sidelines, what do we need to do on the slants? How do we get the ball down? And then we go defense. Okay, they have no timeouts. We get a tackle. Ball's in bounds. Clock runs after what? They shut the chains. So you got to, he would go over, laying on people. You know what I mean? When they have no timeouts. He would go over, you need to get injured in this field of play if we get into this bind. He was Man,
That is a
God,
mental test. Goodness
oh my
gracious.
gosh. I always say this. Jalen Hurts is the GOAT to me. All right. Not talking about talent.
Mhm.
He's the GOAT to me. Jalen Hurts to start as a true freshman for Nick Saban, week 1 versus USC is, for me, the greatest accomplishment in any football player history under Nick Saban. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Bryce Young couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Mac Jones couldn't do it.
Oh.
Tua Tagovailoa couldn't do it. Lester Ricard couldn't do it. Jamarcus Russell couldn't do it. Matt Flynn couldn't do it. You think about the guys that Nick Saban has had. Greg McElroy couldn't do it. To
Man.
start as a true freshman, true national TV and Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or it might have been Dallas. They played. I think they played in Jerry Jones where AT&T against USC. For him to start as a true freshman, it's the greatest accomplishment any football player I've ever seen that's ever played for Nick Saban. Sorry,
Is it just his intelligence or just his like
maturity,
football IQ? Okay.
all of the above. You know, I think his preparation, his
Yeah.
understanding of the game plan, it's his, calm demeanor. Like, let me tell you something. Like, Saban wants you to be happy, but he also don't want you. He wants you to have some. He wants you to have competitive character, which is, when a game gets tight, I want the ball in my hand. He likes dogs. I'm gonna tell you something. Nick Saban loves dogs, man. I'll tell you. He said my mom's and dad like living room. I can send you all pictures. It is so cool. I'm gonna send you all a picture of when he recruited me in high school. When they did the home visit, right?
Mhm.
He told my dad and my mother sitting in the living room. They had just left Hollywood, Florida, down in Miami, right? And he said him and Jimbo were like, we were recruiting this kid named Terrell McGill. He wound up starting offensive line. My mom can tell you the story as well. He said we were down there recruiting Terrell McGill. He said, and when we went inside the house, we were so deep in the hood, we for sure knew that car wasn't going to be out there when we came back out. Like, and my dad was laughing about it. But he told my mom and dad, he says, I need some good guys like you, Lester Ricard, great 2-parent home, Christian home. I need some hoods, some players from the hood that's got some, he might rob you or he might not. You know what I mean? He said, he said, I need some white guys that might be borderline. They might be a skinhead. They might be racist a little bit. They have some of that background in them. He says, when you mesh all those personalities together, and they come together and make a melting pot for a football team, you have the perfect scenario. And so Jalen being who he was like the perfect leader, right? You'll look at, I'm gonna tell you something. You go back and look at Nick Saban's history at Alabama. Look at the parental background of the quarterbacks that play for him. They all look very similar. All of them look very similar.
Now that you say that, I'm like, ding, ding, ding,
That's
ding.
a really good point. 'Cause that's a
Like,
big
really
position. That's a big position to
What?
you talk about, how your parents
Yeah,
or that big leadership, I feel like my parents are unbelievable.
yeah,
Like you're able to use that
yeah.
to lead. And I think that's a really good point.
I think that's what Nick he checks out the family dynamic. You know what I mean? The involvement of parents, mother and father.
Yeah.
Like Bryce Young, I remember seeing him at the Heisman Trophy. His mom and dad being together. His dad was a licensed counselor, and so he would talk about all the mental games he would play with Bryce when he was a young kid. It's crazy, man. It all kind of correlates together to play quarterback for him.
My mind's kind of blown right now.
Sorry, brother.
No, it's good. I'm
that.
just like, that's a lot of good points. I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
like he did have a lot of good quarterbacks, and I think they all had
Very
unique
similar.
traits.
Yeah.
And the ability to, I would say most of them too were able to get out of the pocket and make, if they were in trouble, they were like, oh, gotta go, and they just had that sense of the flow of the game is what I want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's almost,
that's a good point.
it's almost uncoachable, but it's coachable at the same point, I guess. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you're up 10 points. And, I think in the NFL now, they almost give you 2 plays to run. And even in college, sometimes they do, I think. And they'll be like, oh, I'm choosing this one because of X, Y, and Z, because we've been in this situation.
Yeah.
And, I'm a big Indiana fan. So Cignetti comes from the Saban tree.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I've heard of Cignetti. You see him and everyone's like, oh, he's pissed off and he's up 47-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's someone that that I would want to play for, because he's never satisfied. And so Saban has that. And man, I just
my 8-year-old thinks he's Patrick Mahomes. And I remember when Saban retired. I remember retired 2 years ago. I remember thinking to myself, it would have been a joy for him to recruit my kid, because just thinking about what he means. Cignetti actually kind of dots all those same I's and crosses those same type of T's. I think, Saban's mindset, mentality, that 1 year stuck with me more than any coach ever. I'm serious, guys. It wasn't being at LSU. It was the leadership, man, of Saban. And I had Jim, let me tell you something. I had Nick Saban as my head coach. Kirby Smart was a GA. Adam Gase, who was the New York Jets head coach, right? Was a GA. Jimbo Fisher was our quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, guys. Derek Dooley, who wound up being Tennessee's head football coach, was our tight ends coach. Mike Haywood, who spent time being Texas head coach and Notre Dame head coach, was our running backs coach, fellas. We had my gosh, man. Stan Hickson, who was our receivers coach, he went on coach with the Washington Redskins when they were the Redskins for 10, 15 years as the wide receivers coach there. Man, he had some dudes, man. Will Muschamp was the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
It just he has something, man. And you just one thing I would say, Cignetti, the problem that guys get when they try to leave Saban's tree and be Saban, you've got to be still authentic to who you are. Kirby. Kirby has the attention to detail, but he's still crazy at the same time, right? Lane Kiffin, what makes Lane Kiffin a great coach with Ole Miss is he's now understood the details and the little things that matter, while being Lane Kiffin, kind of who he is, kind of happy-go-lucky California surfer boy at the same time. That's why Lane has been so successful at Ole Miss. He took those years with Nick and said, okay, I learned under Pete Carroll, who was really good. Pete Carroll is all energy.
Very energetic.
High voltage all day long. He took high voltage and said, now I need to focus more on the third and mediums, the situational things, the off the field, the study hall, and because those things matter for an athlete to be successful. All those things lined up. That's why, Nick, I remember Brian Thomas, when I first sent him up there when he played for me at Walker, and he went up there to Alabama. His mom called me and was like, Lester, oh my gosh. All these things that this man has in place for us to be successful. Brian, he has no choice but to be great. Everything is in place. And so it was fun, man. It was fun.
So I want to. Sorry, no, Brennan, go ahead. Go ahead. Brennan.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
Well, I get, since we talked about parental involvement and coaches, what's the one thing parents and youth coaches are getting wrong, working with kids and this development and patience.
I agree. So one of the things, because I train quarterbacks, have some really great quarterbacks I worked with for years. Damian Williams, who now is one of the top quarterback trainers in the country right now. He has this thing called QB Texas, right? QB Live Texas, something like that.
Okay.
And I trained Damian before he was in high school, when he was at Mississippi State. So Damian, he has Dak Prescott. He works with what's the quarterback at Oregon name? Moore.
Dante
He
Moore.
trained Bryce Underwood. He's got all these top guys, and he always like, "Hey, I want to buy your naming rights." All right, I was like, "No, I'm not for sale." But anyway, so a couple things that the parents get wrong. This is not a microwave deal, right? Your kid developing is not an overnight process, right?
No.
This takes time. There's some young men that I train to this day. It has taken years to get to this point. Now they're phenomenal quarterbacks. And I always tell the parents this: if you bring them to me, you got to trust the process. He's going to get incrementally better next week, and he's going to get incrementally better next week. But increments are like really like centimeters, right?
Yes.
You know, like he's going to have to be broken down because he's got bad habits. But our parents have this false sense, man, I'm bringing him to you. Sure enough, he's going to be a 5-star. Also, they've gotten enamored with the type you talk about NIL and that money. They've all got this false sense of their kid is going to get the bag, right? And really, the bag is not there to be gotten. It's just, you know, you just gotta trust. You gotta trust your trainer. And then I'm gonna tell you, they got horrible trainers out there. And I'm not gonna call anybody names out. Like I watch the mechanics that are teaching these quarterbacks. Like that's because that's my baby. All right. Yeah. Like I said, my kid loves Mahomes, and I tell him all the time when we go to the field and throw, if you throw one side on him, put this size 13 up your behind, kid. All right. Like it's just.
That's what I said. Coach always said, "Don't watch the pros.
You can't emulate that, right? A guy that's in the NFL, you don't teach that. Like Joe Burrow, you can teach what Joe does. You can teach what Tom does. You can teach what Peyton does. You can teach what Drew Brees do. But I would never tell a kid to watch Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. That's not real. Those guys are. If you want to, I already watch Jared Goff. Then to watch Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in all of football, because he does things that are unorthodox. Just like if a basketball player, I would never tell a kid to emulate Steph Curry. Never. How? You know? If you want to watch a guy, I will go look at somebody. Jason Tatum is a fundamental basketball player, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But Steph Curry, on the other hand, Steph will have 10 turnovers in the finals and then finish with 50 points because he just gets loosey-goosey with the ball, right? So, you know, I encourage these parents to talk about the training. Get off Instagram. Get off YouTube. Stop going to the field. And, I saw them do this. Like, I hate patting the ball. I hate quarterback. I don't like that. And a lot of people do it now, right? They're patting the ball, and all you're doing is indicating to the defense, I'm loading up to throw the football. Yeah. Right? Now, you'll see. Now, a guy like Tom Brady will pat only if he has a lot of time. It just depends on the type of throw he's making, right? If he's taking a shot, it doesn't really matter if the defense knows he's throwing. He's taking a shot, right? But something intermediate that needs to come out, the ball needs to come out. By the time you pat, it takes something. Guys are so fast in college, in the SEC, Big Ten, in the NFL right now, that as soon as you pat, a half a step takes away a throwing window. Like you go from here to here, and it's over with, right? That. You know what I mean? Like that little right there, just gets you out of it. Just gets you out of it. And so, you know, I always, you know, I'll tell the quarterbacks, like, I make them put their hands underneath their shirt, right? Hold the ball like you're praying, and that's what we hold the football. Now that doesn't allow you to pat the ball, right? You see what I'm saying? So because your thumb has to stay inside your shirt. Hey man, I'm just dropping some jewels for you, man. Write that down, Kenneth. When you go in the field, Brady, when you go train your quarterbacks next week, man. Like man, say, hey man, we doing this, or we're not tucking the ball, we're not patting the ball, man.
That's how in baseball we used to do. I think we bite, so we wouldn't pull our head out. We'd bite our shirt. There's always a shirt technique.
It's always a shirt, man. Always a shirt. How do you always a shirt, man? You gotta trust the process, man. Just work, man. Just put your head down, grind. Parents, I tell you, I would encourage a lot of them to get out the way, man. Just get out the way. Yeah. Let them be kids. Let them enjoy it. And I'm a prisoner of it too, as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I came to the house today, and me and my little boy started shooting ball, and I was like, "Hey, man, your shot looks horrible, man. You know, hey, like, what are you doing, man?" But I mean, but we have it's I guess, and I say that, you know, but these parents, they live vicariously to their kid. If my son plays football in college or basketball in college, man, his mother and I are gonna be great and happy.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't play a down of nothing and goes to be a great student, makes a good living for himself, has a great family, I'm gonna be equally as happy for him
And
because
that's how it
that's what
should
these
be.
parents don't get, you know.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And they think they think every parent thinks their kid's a 5-star.
Yeah,
With an NIL deal, that's
yeah,
2 million, this and that. And I think the issue is, and I'm going to call a lot of parents out, is that they just think their kids, the absolute best at everything. And the truth is that they're not the best athlete at everything.
yeah,
They're not.
yeah, yeah,
And,
I had
it's okay if he plays at Kent State. And it's okay
yeah,
if he just plays high school ball. And it's
yeah,
okay if he plays NAIA ball.
yeah,
Like, at the end of the day, like, I completely agree with you. It's all about putting our kids in a position to be successful.
yeah, yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
is. Everyone has talent and God-given talent from above.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, sometimes that's what it comes down to, unfortunately.
yeah,
You can work so hard, and I've seen it from the NIL level to the D3 level in college basketball. And I'm like, that NAIA kid could play with that D2 kid.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just because,
yeah. And
coach.
honestly, Kenneth brought up Trinidad Chamberlain, right? A kid who went D2, and now look at him. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate, right?
Yeah.
And you have your cases like that, guy. But what if his parents say you too good for that?
Yep.
He doesn't even go to a place like that,
Yep.
And because listen, even when you get to college, you got to have some patience, right? Parents have to have patience with your kids, right? Because these colleges now are not into developing so this is like college football as we know it. It's gonna be a 2-conference race moving forward. You either part of Big Ten or the SEC. Honestly, for football, right? Because and what is done where it was before the SEC, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, how they dominated the college football scene
all the time.
Part of it was you could have a 5-star as a third string at an Alabama, and he's going to sit there and wait to Mika Fitzpatrick graduate. He's going to wait to Pat Surtain graduate. He's going to wait for Tua Tagovailoa to graduate. Like what Ty Simpson did without leaving is remarkable, right?
Yeah.
Just to sit there and wait behind Jalen Milroe, how Mac Jones waited behind Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young. Now you don't play in the first 60 days. You out in the transfer portal, right?
Yep.
So the schools that were having these number 1 recruiting classes all the time, like Alabama doesn't have the depth it used to. Georgia doesn't have the depth it used to. LSU doesn't have the depth. So when like the kid got hurt, the left tackle for LSU got hurt, usually you can plug him in with a 5-star and he's ready to roll. Well, if you're on the second team as a 5-star, you out of there. You're gone. And so those kids are everywhere. They're at Tulane, they're wherever they can get $2.50 at. So, but you got to have some patience because it tells a story about an athlete when they can sit there, kind of go through the grind, work their way up, and just trust the process.
A perfect NIL athlete that I can, talk about that had patience and didn't leave and take all the money was Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Stayed at Boise State.
Yeah.
Could have ran over the SEC and got paid. I mean, they were throwing ridiculous amount of money on him.
Yeah.
And decided to stay. So I just got to shout him out for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only NIL player era that I know that was like, no, like I'm going to stay. I'm going to be patient.
Yeah.
I like the head coach. I like the position I'm in. And, we've interviewed several players and coaches. And, I think the transfer portal can be good. I really do. But I think, I don't know who specifically said it. And I think it was a college coach, but he said you can have NIL and you can have the portal, but you can't have both.
Yeah.
And I'm with that because the moment you sign a contract and you take someone's money doesn't mean you run over to the neighboring state school and take their money. Like I don't like that as a fan and for the sport. Like
Ashton Genty is a great example of someone who stayed the course. A worse example is last year, Mekhi Hughes,
Yeah.
at Tulane University.
I was about to bring him up.
Goes to Oregon.
God.
And goes to Oregon, and now he's mad because he's only got 3-4 carries this year. He took the bag, and now I'm speaking this week at a Tulane function, and I know one of the questions they're going to ask, would you take him back? And they asked Summerall that. Summerall's like, listen, he's a great kid. I really like him.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens after the season, right?
Yeah.
But he took the money, and it didn't work out for him,
When do you think they're going to understand that are they, well, I mean, we already talked about this. Is it the development or, what is, you think it might get better at some point? I wonder if it's, because what I've seen it, what I love about it right now, it's is it Power Six? Is it Group of Six or Group of Five?
Group of Five,
Schools like Tulane,
yeah,
like there's a chance that they're up in the playoffs because they're getting these portal guys.
Yeah.
And I was just wish some of them would stay because it's just it's good to see. But
I don't. Nick Saban talked about this. Since he's been out of coaching. When we open up Pandora's box for NIL and transfer portal, right? We didn't put any parameters in place to.
Yeah.
And then these new parameters that he just put in place. It used to be a two-time, like you had a window twice a year for the transfer portal. Now they're talking about doing just one in January. I think that's jacked up as well. Because you think about this, in January, if you're playing a national championship, you're Ohio State versus Texas last year.
Yep.
And you got to worry about it. You got to recruit, and you got to recruit portal and high school. How you going to recruit when you started school and I'm focused on my team, but then you got to go talk to your team like, hey, look, we got a national championship game next week. Please don't leave before that game. You can play next week, right? Like they don't like the NCAA is the most non-thoughtful organization in all of professionalism out there. Like they just let go. I'm gonna tell you something. When transfer portal NIL took off, when player empowerment, I talked about this. I spoke at the Greater New Orleans Sugar Bowl luncheon with Ken Trahan early in the year. One of the things I talked about was they asked when do I think NIL transfer portal took off? It all took off after George Floyd was killed. Like everything from that moment, it took off. When the players started marching and they started saying they want a voice, like it all took off because Joe Burrow he's a blessing of the transfer portal, but the portal wasn't doing what it was doing like it is right now, right? Now, from that point, players said, we want mobility. We want to be paid. And that moment empowered them in a way in which the NCAA had to give them power.
Yeah.
Because teams stood up and they marched on campus. And coaches had to go with them. And players said, we want a voice. After that, they said, we want a voice. And after that, it took off, man. And every year, it's gotten crazier and crazier and crazier.
That 6 year gave so many. TJ Finley was at, I think he's at his 6th, 7th school, right?
Seven. It's 7 schools. He's at Georgia State right now. He's at Georgia State.
I think Pavia last year was still, some of these guys are still trying to get every extra year that you've got your career guys.
Yeah.
And
you think about this too. Now, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
How popular is NIL is this? Quinn Ewers made more money in college at University of Texas than he did being a 7th-round draft pick for the Miami Dolphins. That's how insane this world is that we live in NIL versus going pro. Those guys are staying in college. Like Harold Perkins, he's going to have a decision to make after this year. Do I go take $1 million to $2 million to stay at LSU or get in the portal and go somewhere else? Or he hadn't had the greatest year, So now he could be a second or third round, maybe fourth, fifth round draft pick, whereas he was a surefire top 10 draft pick before. He'll test well, but he hadn't played well this year. So what do? You go, you stay, you know, it is an interesting dynamic.
It's
I
very
know I've been talking a lot, man. I talk a lot, man. Golly, I like this dude talks a lot, man.
Well,
we love it.
That's why I told Brendan. I'm like, it's
I'm
fun
learning. I'm
when
absorbing.
You hear Lester come down the hall, and everybody's like, "Oh, here we go."
Hey, I'm about to come preach. Message. Comes the message. Here comes the message.
Oh yeah.
Lester, real quick. Touch on your time at Tulane after LSU and kind of walk us through after you left LSU in that time, because I bet that had to be a very difficult and hard time. Probably one of the most difficult times in your life, I want to say.
How the hell does transfer portal work then?
I had to sit out. I had to sit out a year.
Sit out.
I had to sit out 1 year, right?
Sit out.
And I'll be honest, man, that sitting out year was great. You know, I was able. Frank Selfa, who's at Southeastern, was my quarterback coach and offensive coordinator at the time, and so, man, I had already been taught really well by Jimbo. He really pushed me into what it was to be a quarterback and understand the details of the quarterback position. You got to think the guys who preceded me at Tulane were J.P. Lawson, first rounder, Buffalo Bills, Patrick Ramsey, first rounder, Washington Redskins, second rounder, Sean King, undefeated Tulane. So those are the guys I was following, right? And so I knew that I was going to get coached up. Wins, losses, regardless, I knew I was going to get coached up. My sophomore year, obviously, man, I broke the school record, 6 touchdowns. Well, broke the conference record at the time, 6 touchdowns in the game, threw 400 yards against UAB. Broke my wrist against Army late in the season on a play that was a 14-yard completion, tried to catch my fall. And then that offseason, you know, we were picked by so many to put together a special run. And in 2005, here comes Hurricane Katrina, right? And that derailed kind of our whole season. We were 2-1. We lost the Mississippi State game 14-21. I think we had 10 drops that game. And the next week we play against SMU at SMU while going through another hurricane, dealing with that, like winds blowing because we were dealing with the outskirts. Let me tell you something. We kicked the ball off. The ball got to the 50-yard line and started coming back, right? That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's how strong the winds were that day. That's
that Tad Gore. Is Tad
Gore
mean?
We were in the
dome.
We played the dome. We only played at Tad Gormley for homecoming, right?
Okay.
So when we played SMU, we was at SMU during the year of Hurricane Katrina. We beat them. We beat so that year we played 11 different games in 11 different stadiums. It's the craziest thing ever. Game 1, Independence Stadium. Game 2, we played at SMU on the road. Game 3, we had a home game versus Southeastern at LSU Tiger Stadium, right? Game 4, we played University of Houston at home at UL. Now this is while we were all staying in Louisiana Tech. We were staying in Louisiana Tech the whole year. All right. That's where we were because obviously we couldn't be in New Orleans at Tulane. We were displaced. So we were attending class at La Tech. Week 5, home game versus UTEP at Ruston. Game 6, we played Marshall at at Williams Stadium and Lad People Stadium. I'm sorry, in Mobile, Alabama. We go to Navy. We play at Rice. We go to Navy. We go back to and finish up at Southern Miss. We played 11 different stadiums a year. It was the craziest thing ever.
The hell? Why did other?
We just because we
play at Ruston or just go down to Shreveport. That's crazy.
Hey man, because I have no idea, but it was taxing. It was taxing. So I'm gonna tell you when our season took a turn for the worse, fellas. When we're 1-1, just beat SMU, like I said. Frank Selfo's brother, our head coach at the time, decided, hey, look, we're gonna go. If you all want to go back to campus on Sunday to get some of your belongings, you can. We're gonna have some Humvees, military folks, and police escort you all to campus to get some of your items if you need to. That's the worst decision ever. So we wound up We played in Baton Rouge, like I said. We drove from Ruston, and we stayed in English Turn, a golf course in the country club, all on air mattress night before the game. Man, let me tell you something. When we got from the, like, you could see the damage from the Laplace, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get on the spillway.
Holy crap.
And when we got down off the spillway in Kenner, it devastated us. We just looked around like,
Jesus. Brenda,
it's like
if you've never been driving into New Orleans before,
yeah,
when you drive across the spillway, all it is water. Just water for your right to your left. And then when you get into Kenner, it is literally just you're now in the city.
You're now in the city. And that's what we saw.
I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah. So it was so all we saw was military Hummers and tanks all over the city as we were just driving through. No cars on the road, obviously. And we got pulled over and they asked what we were doing, and they said we was approved. They showed Eddie Compass, who was the chief of police for New Orleans at the time. We had like a little letter as well from Ray Nagin that approved us to go to back in the city.
Wow.
But we just drove. It's how bad it is. So this is a Friday, right? We drive through Kenner, we go through Metter, and we just looking around. And we have been laughing and clowning the whole ride from Ruston. And then all of a sudden, you could hear a pin drop. We drive through downtown because English Turn, the golf course, was on the west bank of New Orleans in Avondale, right? But you had to go all the way up. Man, I remember we looked at the Superdome, the roof torn off, the arena torn off. Like it was just scary. Like you saw cars on top of homes. And when I'm serious, for about 35 minutes until we got off the bus, nobody said a word. Like nobody said a word, fellas. And when we got off the bus, Chris Self, I'll never forget these words. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all like y'all saw a ghost. Like had no empathy for what we just saw.
Wow.
And we was like, I remember telling my dad I was gonna go back to campus to get my items and just meet him back in Ruston, and then I just told whatever I had back at Tulane that flooded or need to get, I don't want it. Like I don't want it. You can have it.
Dear
and
God.
I bring up that story, right? Because every time we faced adversity that year, we crumbled as a team. Me personally, the quarterback, we'd be playing so well, and then third down drop, boom, everybody lays it. Like we never recovered from that scene for the rest of the season. We never recovered. We almost lost the Southeastern, fellas. We did. We had a dogfight. Yeah. We had a dogfight with Southeastern that like the next game, like the next day. We go down, score 7-0.
Yeah.
We get the ball back, moving the football. I get sacked, and then it was a 4-quarter game until I threw 2 touchdowns late in the game to like put some separation between it. But like you can, it's like there's a clip on YouTube that kind of highlights the game. But man, that moment, and I'm gonna tell you something from a Katrina year, fellas. We lost so much faith in the Tulane football organization piece, right? Till it never recovered. Like my senior year, like players just didn't trust coaches. It wasn't that coaches were coaching bad. It just didn't, like you just it put some distance between guys because like you took us through this. Like that was a tough year, guys. I mean, there's so much we could talk about. Sports Illustrated actually came down here, and ESPN the magazine actually came down here the 10-year anniversary in 2015 and did a whole like book long interview with me and about 4 or 5 of our teammates. And I talked about some dark moments we had as a team, as a coaching staff. It was tough, man. As much as I love Tulane, and you talking about somebody that I put this on, I had on the socks earlier at work. Let me tell you something. I bleed that olive and blue, man. I was ready to get out of college, man, because of like just my sophomore year. I had the highest highs than and I balled my senior year, but just it was tough, man. That trust was lost, man. It was tough.
Was Katrina your senior year or your after was your junior. Okay,
Katrina
so
was junior.
wow.
So we wound up
Yeah.
going. So they got the campus, guys, after that semester. They got the campus up enough to where it was functional, and they still was working on everything while we were attending classes. But we all came back and attended classes. I remember that year. It's funny seeing Frank Wilson. He and I talk about it. Ed Orgeron was the head football coach at Ole Miss at the time,
Mhm.
and O would call my dad. Him and Frank Wilson. Hey, that boy can transfer here. The
I love
NCAA ain't gonna hold him
Coach.
back. You know, and I honestly consider going to three schools. I'm sorry, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Southern Miss after Katrina. But I couldn't leave them. I couldn't leave them. I couldn't leave my teammates. I was like, we came here, and Matt Forte was my running back at the time, and they were trying to package deal both of us together to go.
Wow.
And I was like, if I leave, I'm not leaving him. They're like, oh yeah, he can come too. He can be our starting running back. I was like, okay, we'll shoot. And we strongly considered it, man. We strongly considered it, but I made the right decision by staying though.
Yeah. Was Coach O selling to you pretty good, or?
Oh yeah, man.
Just
Oh
the
my
voice.
God, man. Yeah, it's just the voice. Hey man, he's a missing piece. That's all we need is a quarterback. We got everything, Mr. Ricard. Can I call you Real? Real. We got everything.
There it is.
And my mom was like, you sure you want to do this all over again? You did this leaving LSU. And I was like, my dad was ready to go. My dad was ready to go. We had a meeting with the coaching staff after that year and laid it on the table. And and we just, but it's like, what are you going to do? And I remember just crying, like I didn't want to leave, but I knew there was going to be some misery that I was going to have to endure, because I knew that my trust and faith in, Frank Selfo and I were still tight. It wasn't him, right? It was just some of the other guys. Because during the year Katrina, Frank always was authentic, but some of the other guys just, oh my gosh, just hated being around them,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Were they Louisiana guys or is
some of them
from
were
Louisiana?
Some of them Louisiana, some of them were. And I mean, I watched our coaches not even have faith in each other. Like it was tough, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Think about what I went through. I had Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, Kirby Smart, the GA, Adam Gates, Derek Doolin, Will Muschamp. Then I go to having to deal with this,
Yeah.
And look, I don't blame some of them. It's just a lot of times when you face adversity like that, it could be shaking. And I think it just shook so many guys.
Godly.
Would you say it was more personalities not meshing, or would you say it was just kind of the events that happened and the responses to it?
The responses.
The
responses. Good. Like it was completely the responses and the accountability to, and really, golly, it really that's what it was. It was the choices that were made with when you knew certain questions were coming up. And our athletic director, Rick Dixon, my gosh, he's like my godfather, right? At the time, still to this day, he wanted to fire our head football coach, but he knew how he would have looked by firing him. He knew it would have just been a horrible look to fire him post, to go through the season with us, but he knew he had every reason to do it. Right. Yeah. He did it after my senior year, and I still tell him all the time, like, you're a day late and $1 short, my friend. but man, I always say this, man, and Tulane's down 31-12 right now, and I'm not happy.
Oh no, I was about to ask you.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. But I say we went through what we went through in order for these guys to be where they are right now. And that's why I have so much pride in what they're doing right now. The last 4 years have been a highlight no other.
Yeah, Tulane's build-up has been really, really cool.
It's been really cool. I love your guys' colors too. I'm
a big
fan.
When y'all built the stadium and just so.
Let me tell you something, guys. A couple weeks ago against Duke, it was the most raucous it's ever been. that Duke game, and then I was at the American Conference Championship game when they beat Central Florida 3 years ago, and that was special.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, the environment was special. So,
Yeah.
and I know I look at them losing right now and they're down. Let me tell you something, and I say this all the time about players. You know, they listen to all this media chatter all week long about John Summerall going to LSU, John Summerall going
I
to
was about to
Florida,
say that.
John Summerall going to Penn State, John Summerall
Yep.
going to Arkansas. And he's saying all the right things, but when you're a 20, 21, 22-year-old guy, you hear the chatter. You hear it.
Yeah.
You hear it.
You do.
So
And you can't just like put it
turn it
down
off.
and like
Nah,
it's
it don't go away.
you're
It
not
don't
gonna
go
push
away,
it
man.
down. Like it's in the back of your mind. And like I
Yeah.
know actually before like the game started, I listened to several podcasts and they were talking about the game and doing a preview on it. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, they're not talking about one key thing.
No,
They
they
just
said
said all the chatter going on about their head
Summerall.
coach
That's it, man.
potentially leaving.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
there's actually a player that follows us, Lester. I don't know if you know who it is, but I'll shout him out real quick. It's a safety, Bailey Despaney, I think is how
Yeah.
you say
Yeah.
his last name.
Yeah.
Always wanted him to get on the podcast.
We
I
need to
tried to
hustle. We need
reach
to get
out.
on it. We need to get on it.
Yeah,
We need to get on it.
but when we first started, he was one of the very first people from the Tulane football team to follow me back.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I just want to shout him out. And like he's a
Whoop
really
de
good football
whoop.
player.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you,
but
man,
I've
they got some really good guys, man. You know,
yeah.
I'm blessed. We have a quarterback, I call them legends, group where all the quarterbacks that over the last few years, Ryan Griffin, who was Tom Brady's third string quarterback when they won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay,
Mm-hmm.
on down to Michael Pratt, who was a quarterback a few years ago when they beat USC. We all part of this, like, I'm talking about old
Yeah.
70-year-old guys. Like, all of us kind of text each other. We text
That's
the
so
new
cool.
quarterbacks there, tell them how
Yeah.
proud we
that's
are of them.
great.
And I said,
That's
man, I
great.
wish I had something like that when I was in school, man. But like this
Yeah.
guy who's over the collectives, he started it,
Yeah.
and I said, man, this is one of the greatest things you ever done.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
so I really love it, man. I love communicating with those guys.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I love how involved you are still with
Yeah.
Tulane. It makes
Yeah,
me happy as a college football fan of
yeah,
people still having that school pride and still
yeah.
wanting to be involved and still wanting that institution to be successful.
Yeah,
And so it's just makes me really happy. I just gotta say.
yeah.
So,
I'm Tulane, man. I mean, I love my Tigers. I do. I love LSU. But
yeah.
you know, when you walk through my house and you see that Tulane degree, you know, sitting on that
Mhm.
wall, man, and
Yeah.
all the other stuff, man, like I bleed it, man. Here's the funny thing. When they beat USC a few years ago, I cried, bro.
Mhm.
I cried, bro. Because all I can I just thought about all the dark moments Tulane had, right? And all the
Yeah.
bad moments we had and all the tough losses and to see them get to
Mhm.
that point to where they can beat Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner, in
Yeah.
a Cotton Bowl. And Tulane fans that they showed up
Oh, did
Cotton
they?
Bowl State.
Oh, it was
You know,
awesome.
and nobody thought they were going to show up like that, but they showed
Yeah.
up.
That's
I love
that's
it, man.
cool, man.
I
How
love
many
it. I
people
love it.
came, do you think, to that bowl game?
I think they had 50,000. I think there was announced attendance. And I think Tulane might have had 40 because USC,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
they had mailed it in, you know, like we're not playing in a national
Right.
championship game and we're not going to take a trip. I mean, it's just Tulane. We're going to beat them anyway. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they took that L. They
Those
took that L
fans.
that day. They took
Yeah.
that L that day. So
Uh-oh. I bet you his phone died.
I bet you it did too.
Well,
I can edit it out. I'm just gonna leave it.
well, yeah. So I guess while we wait, I bet you
Yeah, well-
100% it died.
I bet you it did too.
But that's really
I'll
good.
just-
I really so you there?
You there? Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh,
Well,
we back? Oh, he'll rejoin. I bet.
but anyway, let me talk about Tulane for real quick while we wait because
Yeah.
it's really it kind of. And I wanted to ask him this. Oh, look, there he is.
He's back, baby.
Man, what were y'all doing, man? What in the world?
Your phone
Did
died?
I kick you out?
No, I kicked myself out.
Oh,
Oh,
you like
it's
went
fine.
black for a little bit, and then we were
Yeah.
confused.
Hey,
you're like,
I've been
oh.
black my whole life, Kenneth.
Well, I knew you were.
I got you.
That word
Gotcha,
came out
man.
of my mouth, and I said, "I bet you he's going to
You
cover
had time
that
to think,
really
Kenny.
quick."
You had time to think.
No. Oh man, bro. Yes,
But
indeed.
I was about to tell Brennan, like Tulane. I always played Tulane in the video game, and
Yeah.
it was you play Tulane, but now you got the Tiger Rag. It would be awesome, like for LSU to play Tulane now because it's so
Would
different
be.
now. Like Tulane's not the team that we would play as a rental win. It's like I feel like it's a way bigger deal now. And
Yes.
do you know? Can you give us? Do you have any insight of like how that grew? Like when did that shoot up?
So I would tell you this: my senior year was the first year we got the game back home. Now we lost 49-7, my good friend. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, they actually had the lead against LSU at halftime. That was the year LSU won the national championship in 2007.
Oh, that was that
But
weird year.
I know Coach Summerall has talked about like that needs to be an annual contest.
Yeah,
It should be.
I would love for that. Maybe annual once a year.
Man.
Like
I would go to
has
that
to be.
game.
They have to. Now, and they've said this. LSU is they're open to it. And I talked to Verge Osbury about this. All right, Verge and I are good friends, and he's the deputy athletic director over at LSU. One of the things he talked about is it's got to make dollars and cents for both sides, right? Because LSU is that's all they care about, right? So they feel like if they're gonna go, if they're gonna play Tulane at home, they want to say they want to like the game's gonna have to be in a dome. It's gonna have to be in a dome. It can't be. No offense to Tulane's campus, it's not gonna be able to be in Yeoman Stadium, right? It's gonna have to be.
It would be awesome.
In the dome, and it will be. Now if they get them to come to Yeoman and say,
just
shut
give
up
us
and sit in
50
that
tickets.
corner.
Yeah, 50
Just
tickets.
shut up, get in the corner. I don't want to hear your mouth.
Right.
Take this. All right. If you don't like it, you know what? Stand outside and play us. Right.
Have them sit in the baseball field and watch
There
this
you go.
game.
There you go. There you go. We'll have us a TV in the baseball field. We don't want to hear your mouth, right?
There we go.
It would be fun, man, if they can get that thing going. And I think they may be a year or two away from getting it going. I think LSU plays Louisiana Tech, UL. They played Southern a few years ago. Played Grambling. Played Nicholls State. I mean, they played UL, Monroe. They've played everybody except for
we have not played Tulane in a while,
and
longer
since
than
like
it should
2000, maybe 10 years, at least 10 years. It's been about 10 years.
Look it up real quick.
Wow.
Look it up. Look it up. I mean, it might be less, it might be more than 10 years, to be honest with you. Just thinking back on it.
Almost annual. I remember it always being on the schedule at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the coolest thing too is that Tulane's definitely been on the rise the past 5 years. I know we touched on it, but it's been cool to see. I don't think I'll be honest, like that's what I was about to say is that it's
2009
competition.
Oh gosh.
Jesus.
That's a long time.
That's way too long.
Well, and I don't mean to cut you off, Brandon, but they cut the baseball rivalry too.
Really?
They killed it a few years ago. They killed it because a deal with Cox. It was a big deal with Cox.
Yeah.
You know, do they own the rights to produce?
They wanted one of them didn't want to give in to something, right?
Of course.
And
what it is usually.
I don't think LSU wanted to lose it was something to do with it was something to do with Cox. I know the big deal was about Cox. They couldn't come up to an agreement, and they broke it. It was very stupid. Very stupid.
That is silly.
It's crazy.
It's always over media rights. Always over the money.
Media rights and money, man.
Money talks. Money talks.
Well, Tulane is not as big as LSU by any stretch of the imagination. Right. You got to realize this. Tulane, that's a very rich campus.
Yeah.
Rich is an understatement, dude. Like the Glaziers, the people who own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their children went to Tulane.
Get out.
Like the
Wow.
oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Joe Biden's son. I don't know. I don't know how many sons he had. One of them was there when I was at Tulane.
Wow.
They have like the students that are there. I mean, it's like if you go look up
Oh yeah, they're rich.
U.S.
son.
News, U.S.
Mhm.
World News, I think it is, and you look up
Yeah.
their tuition, room and board, it's like $67,000 a year. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
So like, though they may not be big, it's like a campus of 10,000. They have a lot of financial pride. Like their endowment is unreal. Like Bill Gates, he yields to them every year. Gates always has like a partnership with Tulane. Like he comes and speaks every year
Wow.
at Tulane.
Okay.
Shoots, I'll tell you the lineup. So we've had, I just can remember one year the guest speaker was for the commencement ceremony was Bush and Clinton came and spoke the same time together. The next year it was y'all probably don't remember. I'm an old head. Colin Powell, who was the Secretary of State back then. He was the first African American Secretary of State. The next year, Ellen DeGeneres spoke.
Wow.
I mean, they have, when I talk about who's who, Mr. Chow from
Hangover.
The Hangover, he spoke. Like they get they had
I mess with Chow, man. I love him.
I think the Dalai Lama spoke one year. It was like go look at
Dalai Lama.
Go look at the list. Go look at
All right, Tulane.
Ken, you're a research guy. Go look
he's about
at
to
like
look it up.
Tulane's commencement ceremony speakers. You're gonna be like, what in the world? They get some people, man. They get some people to come speak.
The Dalai Lama, man.
Yeah.
I've only been on that campus a couple of times, and that was for McKinley, because with our playoff system, McKinley gets in the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
With a losing record, we always had to go play Brother Martin, so we'd
That's
always
right.
go play
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Go play it there, and volleyball tournaments.
It's a beautiful place though, man. It's like I said, it's the best decision, of my life was graduating from Tulane University.
Talk about a little bit after Tulane.
Oh man,
the NFL, dreams,
getting
man.
paid Friday night,
the combine, all of it, man.
Yeah, man, it was beautiful, man. I have such a great experience, man. The guys who I played with, David Garrard, Jake Delhomme, just some good guys, some really good coaches. Yeah. Some guys, a lot of them I still keep in touch with to this day. I live with LeBrandon Tofield, LSU great running back. And before Tim Tebow, he had the record in the SEC for most touchdowns in the season. So we lived together. I mean, it was a great experience, man. Like, I'll never forget, man, my rookie year playing in Jacksonville, we were playing against the Tennessee Titans against my boy Vince Young. And they sung the national anthem. And Mike Shula, who's the offensive coordinator for the University of South Carolina right now, he was my quarterback coach, and he was standing next to me, and he saw me crying during the national anthem, and he said, "Hey man, congratulations, welcome to the NFL." And he took my hand, he hugged me. I said, "Thank you, coach." And it meant everything, man. It's so unique, man. I don't think you watch a game on TV. Yeah, it looks like it's moving fast. The game moves faster than that.
I believe that.
Like the size of these guys, man. I played against Julius. I played with Julius Peppers in Carolina. And Julius Peppers 6'6", 6'7", 295 pounds.
Coming at
6% body fat. Running 4.5 40. Played with Steve Smith. It was just so fun, man. And I was impatient. I thought I was good enough to be a starter. What I should have done was just get set on the sideline and got my direct deposit every 2 weeks.
That's the best job, Lester. Come on.
Shut up, man.
Come on.
Yeah, but it was
career guy.
Yeah, career man. Backup. And then I had a chance to go to Canada. Part of me going to Canada because I was supposed to sign with the Buffalo Bills. And I'll never forget, I was at the house with my mom. My mom said, "Hey, the Buffalo Bills on the phone. Wake up. They want to talk to you." And and she gives them the phone, and they're like, "Hey, look, we want to bring you for a workout." And then after a couple of days, they want the assignment. But I'd already signed a deal to go play for the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL. Didn't get out the contract, but man, rest was history, man. I tell you this: got into coaching, my first coaching job at De La Salle High School, and for years I tell people I had such an empty void in my heart after playing football because you just kind of not, you don't try to figure out life after football. Like, what do you do next? Man, getting to coaching and mentoring young people and being a part of the education world, man, really just like if the hole was this big, it's like they filled it up, right, and just sucked it all in because it was that awesome, man. And so, coaching, my coaching stops have been from De La Salle, got a head coaching job at St. Mark's Episcopal. From there, I became the offensive coordinator at Humville. That's some big time 5A football.
Oh yeah, that's a good school.
That's big time. Like Humville versus Destrehan is the biggest rivalry in the state. All right.
Wow.
You can argue with your mama about that one, right? So it's huge, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, became the head football coach in Walker. Coached some amazing kids: B.J. Lockhart, Jalen Cook, who played basketball at LSU. He played football for me at Walker. Brian Thomas, obviously. Got him to come out there and play football. He was playing basketball. I told him that, hey man, you'll make a lot of money on this football field, and I think he's doing all right for himself right now, right?
Yeah, he's doing all right.
And from there, left there and came coaching EBR with the Scotlandville Magnet High School Hornets, man. And I know Kenneth don't like it as a McKinley grad, but man, we used to kick some behind, take names, man. We really did, man. And so, had some, like last year, it was funny. My old defensive coordinator, Alvin Hubbard, sent me a text message. He said, hey, I wanted to let you know something, man. You're the greatest of all time, which I'm not. But he said this to me. Right? He says, man, I just did some numbers. He said, bro, you have, in your 3 years of coaching at Scotlandville, you have 22 kids playing college football today. Congratulations, bro. I had 22 kids last year, opening day, playing on rosters. Quarterback. So, I can go through it. He said, man, you could start an all-star game you could pull a roster together just on the kids that you have starting today.
Was Kelvin Joseph on your teams?
Kelvin graduated 2 years before I got there. I played against Kelvin when I was a head coach at Walker. But I had some other guys. The quarterback T-Set, he just got injured with Grambling State University. He played for me at Scotlandville. And so I had some guys, man. Marlon Gunn, he starts at East Carolina. Chance Williams, he's at University of Cincinnati still. John Horton was at the University of Virginia. I had 6 guys starting at Grambling.
Scotlandville has had some dogs, really good players.
Oh yeah.
Get these guys on the pod, Lester. Get the Lester,
Hey man, they'll come right now.
Oh yeah.
We can do it, my tree, man. That's my tree.
Lester, you're missing your biggest accomplishment though.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Your 2 wins in the Stars League with the New Orleans Jazz.
I
want to know about this Stars League that I never knew existed.
It's hilarious. Well, what's crazy about that? So, seriously, man, and this is a true story. When you're trying to chase the dream still, that's what happens, right? You go play just to be active.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I just couldn't let it go, man. Like that urge to compete. Talk to guys, talk crazy. Man, I would have teammates be on the side. We practicing. They throw the cigarette down on stomp, and I'm like, golly, what is this? And so the Stars Football League was a guy from Detroit, Michigan. He's trying to start a semi-pro league, but he actually paid us, Kenneth. He paid us to play. And
do you mind sharing how much? I'm just curious.
Oh, I remember. It was a $200 check, $200 per game. It wasn't a lot. Hey, I'll take it.
Still,
it paid a phone bill. It paid one phone bill back then. And Yahoo Sports, I got to send it to you, wrote a long story on it. It was crazy. The guy was in town for Jazz Fest, fellas. You hear me? For Jazz Fest. While he was in town, he said, man, he was talking to somebody. at the hotel, and he's like, "Yeah, man, there's a new league they just started here. They playing a tag Gormley." He's like, "They got the quarterback from Tulane playing in it. How they know? I mean, I know how he knew because we did some like media stuff. Went to local,
Yeah.
and he said, "Let me go out here and cover this." So the guy came out there from Sports Illustrated in town for Jazz Fest and wrote this book long article.
Their
It's
website
called-
is still up.
Yes, it's in the post game. That's what his article was called from Sport. And he sent it to me afterwards. And when I tell you, it was the nicest article, man,
Oh, I gotta read that.
bro. It was
Who
awesome,
wrote
man.
it? You know?
Yeah.
Do you
so,
remember?
I don't remember, but I remember
neither.
like texting him some days later, say, "Hey, man, thank you
Yeah.
for doing us justice, man." But
Yeah.
he talked about, man, it's a bunch of guys that play ball in college.
Yeah.
It just still had a love and dream of playing
That's
professional
awesome.
football. And that's all I cared about was just getting a chance. But
Yeah.
I got hit so hard, man. I was like, yeah, it's I probably need to get this on up, man. This don't feel as good as it used to. And because you're not working out. I wasn't lifting weights. It wasn't in the reps like that.
Lester.
I know, man. I was just soft and fluffy, little quarterback. And just got hit and fluffed everywhere,
Well, when I
Yeah.
read it was for anybody. You're 18 years old, you could play.
Yeah,
you know,
they
it
let
wasn't
you
like-
play.
Yeah.
I remember just kind of like, I told the guy who was our offensive coordinator, like during the game, "Hey, listen, no more plays from you. I'm gonna call the plays. I'm gonna huddle everybody up and tell everybody to go." I swear, the whole game. And I would go tell the offensive lineman, like, "Hey, Ricky or Libby. So Libby, I need you to slide left. Ricky, slide right. Like, I got it. And give me all the pass plays, right?"
QB and OC. That's what I'm talking about.
And then I was like, "Hey, look, I'm running the ball inside zone. You need to go block the backer. You need to don't stay the double team. Y'all double team this guy. You block the man in front. You block the guy in front of you.
That's
Let
great.
him go." Like I would do that. And the other
Yeah.
team, I know if we played Detroit somebody and they hear me go through this and we go down there and score. I ain't lying to you. That's how we ran plays. Like, "Hey,
Wow.
Ricky, Libby, look, I want to roll right. So I need everybody to step hard to the right. Don't go past the line of scrimmage. I'm going to throw the ball on the run." All right, big bro.
That's so sick.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Hey,
I
man.
love that for you.
Oh, man, my boy. We won a ring. Won a
Yeah.
national championship. Man.
They were 2-0.
2-0, national champs,
2-0.
man.
And the second place
We
team
beat
was 3-1.
Yeah.
Oh.
But we beat the 3-1 team, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
We came out here, man. So I appreciate that, Kenneth. That's some
I
good
thought that was
stuff.
cool because I'm always interested in all like the funk teams in the state.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that until I looked up because you got a wiki page, so that's how famous you are.
Oh,
I thought that was really cool. You do have a wiki page.
Wiki,
I didn't know if you knew that.
That's right. Hey, I'm somebody trying to be somebody.
He got
Well,
some
Coach,
street cred on him,
We don't want to keep you long. I would love to hear about, the expansion of the EBR schools, all the sports, because I was telling Brendan and I've mentioned before when I was in school, we didn't have elementary school sports.
That's right.
We had a team. It was funny because we wouldn't play YMCA ball, and I was the only kid on my team that played travel ball.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing curveballs and change ups and fastballs to kids that have never even touched a bat before. I want to, and what I really love about it is like I know that sports are so out of reach for everybody right now.
Oh, come on, man!
Like I worked at Marucci, and those baseball bats were $400, $500.
That's right,
crazy.
And there's a new bat every year, so sports is so expensive. So like how's that going for EBR? I mean,
man, this is beautiful, man. So obviously, when leaving coaching and getting this in this job, Dr. Cito Norcy, our previous superintendent, offered me this role as a supervisor of athletics for EBR, and he had this vision of kids having no limitations on athletics, right? Because you all know this, a lot of kids will, if they're in sports and extracurricular activity they love, they'll give a little bit more to academics because you can hold them accountable. I'm not going to let you play if your grades aren't better, right? Like, what kid wants to hear that? No kid, no athlete wants to hear, I can't play because of my grades. And so, and it also was an opportunity for us to develop our athletes at a younger age, right? So many of our kids, unfortunately, from a financial standpoint, from a social standpoint, they can't afford to play break football, can't afford to play AAU basketball. volleyball, playing elementary sports, awards those kids those opportunities to really to play and to develop, right? And we've got some amazing coaches that work with these kids
Oh yeah.
at these schools that give their time. They don't make a lot of money, gentlemen, but what they do is they put their heart and soul into these kids. And I've seen just a little bit better uptick in our football teams at the middle school level. Our high school sports have not seen the benefit of it yet, but our middle school sports are. Last night, Capital High School beat Capital Middle School beat
Oh
CSAL
really?
in middle school football. Now,
CSAL, so CSAL's just been running the table.
been running the table, Brandon.
Yeah.
And they
Okay.
don't just beat people. It's like beat downs. Am I right, Kenneth?
Yeah.
Well, Capital Middle beat them last night, Kenneth,
Wow.
31-20. Right?
Come
They
on.
beat them down, man.
Come
And
on.
I think a lot of those kids, because they all come shake my hand and high five with me, because this is year 4 of us doing it.
Yeah.
They like, hey man, you was the referee, or what you do? I remember you. Like they don't know my title. They just knew they were playing and they were part of these teams. And so you seeing our kids develop now at the middle school level. The sports are are better now because they started playing at an early age. So they have a better foundation. I'm hoping in the next 4 years now, our high school will see the benefit of the elementary development, and you start seeing better performance across the board. I mean, the girls' sports, we have like this is my funnest thing. Parkview Elementary, Brennan.
Mhm.
So our teams are all co-ed, right?
Okay.
So flag football. This girl out there couldn't have been no bigger than this right here.
Yeah.
Parkview Elementary. She was their best football player. No cleats on, some Jordan 1s, highs, 6 touchdowns, 1 game. Next game, I told her, I said, listen, I'm going to need 7 touchdowns. She's out there with her glasses on. I mean, her hair ponytail pretty.
I love
She's
it.
cute.
Yeah.
Got her leggings on. 7 touchdowns later. I'm like, and then the other team she plays like, y'all got to stop her. That she just a girl. And like they're crying, she's just a girl, and she's the fastest thing out there.
Mm.
And
I love
so
it.
we've had in a short time, we've seen some phenomenal young kids, great coaches. Our middle school sports are improving. 2 years ago, we were able to add baseball to it. Kenny talked
Yeah.
about how much baseball bats are. So our department went out and spent money on buying baseball bats, baseball equipment, gloves, and all that for our schools. Balls for them so they can play. So now we have baseball, softball, soccer. You know, something that we didn't have before, so that our kids can feel like, man, they can come to our schools and play everything, right? And they'll get what they need and the skills to develop. And like I said, shout out to our coaches who work with them. And because before our kids are coming to baseball, kid, if you notice, they wouldn't have no baseball foundation. If you didn't play club on some special team, you come to our school system, you didn't have no baseball background, right?
And that's why I love it, because I went and watched the middle school championship, I think last year.
Yeah.
When I played ball, I played out in Central. Central was the only league, and I played travel ball, and I did all that.
Yeah.
But my dad took me out because I was slow, very slow. So when it got to that age, they're expanding the bases. They're moving the bases.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing baseball. So I didn't play baseball until I got to McKinley my sophomore year.
Yeah.
So there was no baseball league.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think it's so important, because there's kids who, you're not going to move on to because you can't. And then the only leagues in Baton, that I know of, I know that Ascension, where Jason's from, Brendan.
Yeah.
They've got to, those kids. You don't make Dutchtown, you don't make EA, you don't make Sandoval, those powerhouse schools in baseball.
Yeah.
You can go play in these older leagues. And I think that's why I'm so happy that the school system's doing this.
Yeah, and what's important about baseball is, I've always said this about baseball. Baseball is a father sport, right? Basketball, my son, I can come home late from work and he can go out there and shoot some hoops, right? Football, you can just be fast and have a chance to be successful. Baseball, somebody's got to pitch the ball to you. Baseball, somebody's got to throw the ball. You've got to catch it. You've got to kick it out the glove and throw it to somebody else. And so a lot of times our fathers are not. Our father he throws. You know that. That's what you're playing catch with. You play with your friends, but your dad's out there kind of Hey, son,
Oh, yeah.
turn your glove here, turn it up, scoop it on the ground ball. And so, man, we got some coaches fathering our kids and mentoring them and teaching them the skills. And I just look forward to, like I say, in the next 4 to 5 years, I think East Baton Rouge Parish School System athletics will be even better because of the things that we're putting in place now and that we've started years ago to help develop and grow our kids at their levels, especially at the school level.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's really cool. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
Like I've told you multiple times, if you need help with baseball or volleyball,
I know. Yeah.
I love baseball so much. And like I think that's why I really enjoyed McKinley so much. And that's what helped me got into it. Just I did not touch a baseball for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guys there were guys I went to elementary school with and played on a YMCA ball team with.
Yeah.
So it's like getting to be able to play that again and not stop it. It's just awesome. So
I love it, man. That's what it's all about, man. Everything's about growth and development kids. And I would tell you, when kids are in extracurricular sports and you've got them playing sports, streets are safer, school environment and culture's better. You know, it's a win-win across the board. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, Brady, you got any other questions? I'm all good. I know my wife, my fiance is ready to go to bed, so I don't want to keep you up either, Coach.
Hey, man. Tulane 38-19, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and fellas, listen to me.
Time.
Hey, here's the comeback. Listen to me. Here comes the comeback.
It's funny time. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Lester. How can people find you real quick on social media?
I think I'm on Instagram, Big Les 8. All right, Lester Ricard. On Twitter, it's L Ricard 8. But I mean, listen, we got a show we do every Saturday night with WGNO in New Orleans. Little shameless plug. Me and Richard Mills been doing that for years. I also co-host Friday Night Footballs on Friday nights when JT Curtis is not in the office. So been doing the SEC on Saturday Night Football for the last 2 years, and so it's been exciting, man. And so been blessed. I do correspondence for News Nation as well. So yeah, man, it's
busy man.
Man. And then I hang out with this guy, man. This great guy.
That tournament coming up.
Yes, right, man. That's right, man. Fellas, thank you for having me, man. You know.
Hey, last question. You make it really quick. Who's Southern going to hire?
Me. Now,
there we go.
Now, you know what's crazy? I don't know, because you gotta want the job.
Yeah,
you gotta want it.
Yeah.
I guess McNair would be. He's got the insider track. They don't seem to ever hire outside the building.
Yeah, that's a very Baton Rouge thing.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. We could talk about that away from this.
Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, go to our YouTube page. It means a lot to us. Follow us on X and Instagram at 5ALF Podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.